you've got your job cut out for you, John, whether you are going to get paid after a shutdown or not. I would say you're essential, but, I mean, look at what's going to happen in a couple of days. President Vladimir Zelensky met personally with these senators just last week and with a lot of the congressmen, although Kevin McCarthy wouldn't let him address all the congressmen as he had asked to. So what signal is that sending to Vladimir Putin?
I think it sends us a potential signal to Putin that all he has to do is bide his time, keep grinding out this counteroffensive, try to hold on to that occupied territory it has in Ukraine, and maybe Ukraine won't have the support that it needs to continue to succeed on the battlefield. Maybe America will walk away from this. Now, I think that's a flawed signal. Obviously, it's not a good signal, but I think it's flawed because I think we've seen terrific support in both houses of Congress and by both parties, quite frankly, for continuing to support Ukraine. And the leadership in the House, though there is a vocal minority in the House led by guys like Matt Gaetz, the leadership in the House also feels the same way. So we're going to keep working with members of Congress. We believe there's got to be a way forward here to continue to support Ukraine.
But at the same time, right now, it's critical on the ground because the counteroffensive did not go as well as they expected or hoped for. So they're grinding it out, and every little bit helps. We're just getting the ATACMS to them. They still have to arrive. They have to be trained. They're expected to be very, very potent. But, you know, how does this match what's happening on the ground? Watching America like this.
Your point's a good one. Every little bit does help, and we don't want to see this support to Ukraine dry up or affected in any significant way. And I think it's important for people to remember. And again, we believe we've got terrific support on Capitol Hill right now, but important for people to remember that that the United States is the largest contributor to Ukraine's battlefield success. And if we just walk away from this, and their success could absolutely be affected. You talked about the counteroffensive. It is continuing as you and I speak. Yes, they are not going as far or fast as they want to go, but they are making some steady progress, particularly down in the south, Andrea, and we want to make sure that they've got all the means available to continue that steady progress. So a lapse in funding for Ukraine or any significant cut would absolutely have a negative effect on their ability to succeed.
And in past spending fights, Congress passed bills protecting service members, but that hasn't happened yet this time. So our troops would be working without pay. What does that do to morale?
Oh, it's a horrible blow to morale. I mean, these troops will, because they signed up to defend this country, they'll keep doing their job and they'll do it proudly. But it's not going to come without pain, particularly for their families. I mean, you got to buy groceries. You know, you got to be able to pay the mortgage, pay the rent, pay bills out in town for power, for water. All that's going to be affected if you hold up their pay. Look, nobody joins the military to get rich. These folks are doing it out of patriotism and a love of country and the opportunity that being in uniform gives you. So those paychecks, they matter a lot to those troops, and particularly to their families.
And the Army, the Navy, the Air Force are also warning that they're going to miss their recruitment opportunities, so they'll miss their goals. You also have the chairman of the Joint Chiefs, General Mark Milley. He's retiring Saturday. Donald Trump has called him a traitor, posting just the other day that some steps that Milley took would in the past have been punished by death. Is that the way to speak to, you know, a four-star like General Milley as he's about to retire?
So I've known General Milley a long, long time, since before he was a general, Andrea. I've served alongside him in various capacities. You're not going to find a gentleman, an officer, a leader who loves his country more than Mark Milley, who has contributed more to our national security in the last 5, 10, 15 years, in peace and in war, than Mark Milley. And he deserves the gratitude of this country. The president's looking forward on Friday to being at that ceremony, to wish him a farewell and to see him off into retirement and thank him on behalf of the American people for all his service and all his sacrifices, and that of his family, too. His family has served right alongside with him. They've been loyal patriots. And anything less than that, anything less than a very, very generous thank you for all that and a sincere sense of gratitude for his service, it does him a disservice to what he's done for this country.
And before I let you go, I do need to ask you about the cloud over the Senate Foreign Relations Committee. Now, the chair is now going to be Senator Cardin, not Senator Menendez, but this puts a cloud over money that did and did not go to Egypt. And what may have happened is, as alleged in this, now we have Senator Gillibrand, but now 14 Democratic senators all aligning, including Senator Booker today, but now Senator Gillibrand as well, saying that he should step down. Just as America is being looked at around the world, is it appropriate for him to step down?
I think that's something for the senator to speak to. We're not going to take a position on that here. We do think he did the right thing by relinquishing the chairmanship of the committee. But again, this is a very active investigative effort. It wouldn't be appropriate for us to wade in here from the White House. What I can assure the American people is that President Biden is going to stay focused very, very keenly on our national security interests around the world. That includes in North Africa and our relationship with Egypt and elsewhere in the Middle East and around that part of the world. We're going to stay focused on the job at hand. We're going to continue to work with Congress, including the Senate Foreign Relations Committee, as appropriate to make sure that we can meet our security commitments.